Okay, I'll admit it. I messed with the tactic again. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 20 of Club 3 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager with Wolverhampton Wanderers. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we're going to be playing in the Champions League. We're going to be playing in the Newcastle game as well in the Premier League and seeing whether we can actually get a victory against them for the first time in what feels like forever. And I'm probably going to mess with the tactic again because apparently that's all I do. But if you're excited to see whether we can win both our final league game in the Champions League as well as try and beat Newcastle for the first time in, I think, the entire save, then don't forget to leave a like on the video for me and hit the subscribe button if you want to catch up with all of the content that's come before and keep up to date with all the future content that comes out of this face right here, which is usually spewing nonsense in every direction. So let me just move that's not there we go. Since you were last with me, it's going very well. We're still top of the league. I don't know how. I'm not questioning it. We're 5 points ahead with a game in hand. We might be doing it. So in terms of the schedule, since last time I was with you, which was the Manchester United game, yeah, I've gone to 4 at the back. Now, the reason why I've gone to 4 at the back is very simple. I don't feel comfortable with a 3 at the back system defensively. Offensively, I don't think it's bad. I feel like we've got the right balance of players going forward. There's just something about it defensively that worries me a little bit. We just have a knack of conceding goals. Now, if you remember right at the beginning of the season, if I take you up to here, I was a bit frustrated because we were seeming to concede a number of goals when we started with the 3 at the back system. We then moved to the system that we were now most recently using with the 2 defensive midfielders and the attacking midfielder. That was fine. That seemed to be better defensively. But actually, it wasn't. Like, it was, but I felt like it could be better. There were just some sloppy mistakes, which I wasn't very happy about. And they were starting to creep in a little bit. So, I mean, you saw I was starting to tinker with the formation. You know, the striker was going to be up here with a deep line forward to one side and then an attacking midfielder further down. It was getting a bit messy. So it was this Arsenal game, actually. Carabao Cup semi-final, by the way. What a set of games that was. We won 2-1 just about. 55th minute, we concede an equaliser, basically. But we go down to 10 men and then we get a dramatic winner in the 69th minute from Atuesta, which was fantastic. And in the middle of that game, we changed to an offset 4-2-3-1. It's officially a 4-2-2-2, which is this system. Although, to be fair, I also have used it where this guy's up here. I used to, before I started doing YouTube, I actually created a system pretty much like this that I called the crossbow, and I was very proud of it because it seemed to dominate, although it was 2 central midfielders rather than a couple of defensive midfielders. But you get the point. And that seemed to look like it was going to be good, but I went with the offset just to try and get the best out of McKernan, because although he was doing well as a wing back, he ain't defensive in any way. And that was kind of my concern. We go into a 4 at the back is, what do we do with McKernan? Well, what we do is, as you just saw, we just stick him out on the wing and hope for the best. So he's there. Cookie's here filling this space in. We've got an attacking wing back who's getting up and down. Andre's getting in there as well. Shockwist is doing what he wants. By the way, what a run of games up until the last game Shockwist has been having. This boy is incredible, and there's something even better about how incredible he is as well. You can see his run of form since we've changed him to an attacking midfielder. Not that he was bad as a regista, but he hasn't looked back. Like, assist against Arsenal, 2 goals against West Ham, goal against Arsenal, goal against Bournemouth. He played well against Olympiacos, and he was playing well as well. Like, visually, he looked good. And against Man City, Man City was a tough game. We drew 2-2 in the FA Cup against Man City, by the way, so we've got a home replay coming up. But he's been sensational in there. Atuesta's taking a bit of time to get back used to it, but he's still scoring, and Ben Cook is looking like Ben Cook, which is good. But Shockwist, you notice up here, he doesn't care about living in England anymore. He's not prone to being homesick. We get to keep him. We don't have to worry about him getting a bit grumpy, which is sensational. Now, I've also offered him a new contract because his agent wanted one. He will be signing that soon. It's been preemptively agreed. It's got a £125 million release clause in it. I don't want to lose this boy, but if I have to lose it, in fact, was it 120 or was it 120? I can't remember. I think I got it to 120. I don't think I got it to 125. Because that price there is not his release clause. That's an amount that I believe I have set for him. In fact, no, he has got a minimum release clause, which is 100 million. So we have upped it a little bit. So that's good. And he is a sensational player. So really happy. Kiko Bayer, by the way, as well, he's starting to look like the fullback we knew he would be, because we're actually playing him as a fullback, which helps. But anyway, that's the recent form. It's all been looking really good. That Man City game was dramatic. A 91st minute equaliser. We had to do a bit of tinkering there because the players were getting slightly tired from just being excellent all the time. So, you know, it is what it is. But today we've got the final Champions League phase game against Eintracht Frankfurt. You remember them because we played against them last season. We battered them 5-0 and 6-0 over 2 legs. It was a lot of fun. So we now need to try and do the same thing in this final league phase game. As things stand, we are confirmed to be in the playoffs, which is good. However, we are level on points with 3 teams, 2 of whom have already played in the top 8. If we win this game, I believe we're more or less guaranteed to be in the top 8 and to automatically qualify for the round of 16. That's why today is quite an important video, because we get to secure ourselves into the proper knockout phase of the Champions League. Let's see whether we can do that. Now, you've already seen this 11, but we'll go through it anyway because I keep showing you and I keep going off of it. So, I need to make one change, which is that one, and then I'm happy. Here we go. This is the 11 for the game against Frankfurt. It is going to be Trafford in goal, Leifson, Marine, Hughes and Bayer in defence. Dos Santos and Andre in the middle. Yes, I am playing Dos Santos as a holding midfielder rather than a centre-back. He's the kid who we signed last season, who we left on loan at his club until this January. What of it? But he's doing really well there. Oh, I almost forgot. There is a player missing. In fact, there's 2 players missing, actually. Number 1, MyCareer. I think you knew about this one, but we sold him for £32.5 million. But the big one is Stefan Bajetic. Of all the teams, he's gone to Manchester City, and he's gone for £42.5 million all in. It will rise to 56 if he plays for them quite a bit. He's made 1 appearance so far. Hopefully there'll be many more to come. We made a hefty profit on him though, which I'm really happy about. That gave us money because we actually lost a lot of our transfer budget because the board took it off of us because, you know, finances. So yeah, that's the only transfer business that's really happened. I think I might go wonderkids shopping on deadline day, just see if we can get anyone off the scout reports who looks good. But anyway, I got distracted. Trafford's in goal. Leifson, Marine, Hughes and Bayer are the defensive defensive offering, I should say. Dos Santos and Andre are the midfield pairing. Then we've got Shockwist as the attacking midfielder, McKernan on the right wing, Cook as the left striker or left forward, and Atuesta is the one who's up top on his own, but not really. McKernan has been doing well up until the last game, by the way. Again, you can see these guys are in relatively decent form. Ben Cook in particular is in scintillating form. We have got injuries, by the way, I should mention. Jack Grealish, out for 2 to 3 months. He might be done for the season, and he's retiring at the end of the season as well. So that might be no more Jack Grealish, which is a shame. And also, Aka has picked up a nasty knock, but he's nearly back. So we've nearly got him, which is good because, you know, he's kind of our backup striker. We kind of need him. Nelson Juan has come back from his loan because, quite frankly, I needed another winger if we're going to play this system. He can play on the left and on the right. Patricio Jara can do the same thing as well. And the striker. And Caceres has been trained as a striker, so he can play as the deep line forward as well if needed. Right, got all that? Good. Let's get to the game and let's see whether we can get ourselves a win. By the way, fun little tidbit in this game. MyCareer plays for this team now, so we've got him back. He's playing at left back today. Why he's playing at left back, I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe he's playing as an inverted fullback or something. It'll be interesting to see how he actually plays. Again, we walked all over these guys last season. You'd assume we'd do the same, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Remember, they've got Patenya, who is a sensational talent, and is someone I'd quite like to sign at some point in this save. Whether it's with Wolves or not is irrelevant. He's someone I'd quite like to sign. Him and Shockwist in the same team would be deadly. Throwing Ben Cook and Atuesta as well. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Good news as well. We've got Ute back from his international duty. So we now are pretty much up to a full complement. Although giving the ball away like that is not necessarily ideal. Remember, this is an away game, but we did beat them away from home 5-0 the last time we played them away from home. So I've got lofty expectations here. And that was on the way, by the way, to a Europa League final. So yeah, I'm expecting a fair bit from the boys today, but I imagine that they're probably more up for this one due to that. Right, we've got a corner here. Shockwist whipping it in. He is a bit of a set-piece dynamo, and his free kicks aren't the best, but his corners are not that bad. And Leifson, of all people, our right-back. To be fair, he's a right-back who can play as a centre-back. He is 6'2", but he makes it 1-0. It's a looping header just over everyone. Goes into the far corner, and that is 1-0 from a set-piece. We don't play for set plays anymore, which, to be honest, I've not really noticed much of a difference in whether we play for set plays or not, other than maybe we get the odd extra highlight that isn't a set piece. I don't know, possibly, but we still get the same amount of corners. It's just, I think, free kicks. We don't necessarily have our players putting themselves in positions where they can get fouled easily. Wow. Justin Lerma ran through our boys there. I can't even be too mad at it. That was superbly done. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't make life harder for him, but it is what it is, and it is 1-1 after 15 minutes. What a game this has turned out to be. I don't want to watch that highlight particularly. I kind of just want to forget that it happens. Right, it's a very equal game, which, to be honest, on paper, I would have said it would have been. But I've got the knowledge from last season of how much we demolished them, so I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one in a way, but then they must have strengthened, or Sepetenia will have gotten better. That Lerma kid I don't think is too bad as well. And we've also gone through some tactical upheaval, which I've kind of caused myself. So, you know, it is what it is. A bit disappointed that McKernan couldn't do anything there. Leifson's coming to the box here. He's going for a second here. He's gone and got a second on his left foot, by the way. That's a fantastic goal. And we're back in the lead. And it's our right back who's doing all the business for us. For the back. It's the answer. Considering I always play forward at the back, I should have really known that, really, shouldn't I? I don't care how we got here. The more important thing is that we are here, and we are leading 2-1. And again, I believe a win takes us... To be honest, a draw might even do it. But a win pretty much guarantees us to be in the top 8. And it means that we don't have to go through the playoffs, which means we have less games to play, as well as being in the Carabao Cup, EFL Cup final. We're in another EFL Cup final, by the way. Maybe third time is the charm. And also our continued existence in the FA Cup. So the less games, the better. If we can knock 2 games off of that schedule, then we'll be doing great. That a bit of a weird ball there from Leifson. I think he just wanted to get rid. It ends up with their goalkeeper, who was thinking about picking it up. And they go again here, Frankfurt. Let's just see what they can do. Mapiu gets it to Oscarson. McKernan does really, really well. Mapiu just picks it up, though. Good defending, Mapiu. We only really let him go because he wanted to go. He wanted to go out on loan, and I kind of challenged him, and I said, look, I'm not sending you on loan. If you're leaving permanently. And he was like, well, all right, then. We're going to concede here. We have. It's 2-2. They're playing very good football here, actually. They're just kind of cutting through us quite nicely. Bit disappointing. Again, I think back to last season. We just dominated them in knockout football, and it is a bit concerning that we're letting them walk through us a little bit. However, the goal's been disallowed, so I feel a little bit better about it. I'm just going to demand a bit more from the boys. I'm a little bit disappointed that we're letting them cut through us so easily. Dos Santos maybe not having the best of games. It is, again, you know, a big change. He's just come to Europe and we're playing him out of position. He will be a fantastic defensive midfielder, I've no doubt. But I might just take him off and bring on Hinselwood, who can play there a little bit more comfortably. I'm looking at McKernan as well. A bit disappointed we're not seeing more out of him today. But at half-time, we will lead. But it's a very even game. Actually, you could even argue that Frankfurt are on top. So I'm going to say I'm happy. I am happy, but our forwards could be doing a little bit better. McKernan's not having a great game. Dos Santos is not having a particularly great game. Dan Hughes isn't either. I think we'll make a change with Dan Hughes as well. I think everyone else who's not on a 7 we'll just have a quick word with and just say they're not that bad. Right. Let's get to Yute coming on, or Peter Owino. I feel like Yute, obviously he's a good defender. I'm just thinking we have had a couple of corners and I think he could be quite lethal from them, but Owino is a better defender. We'll go with Owino. And I'm going to bring on Hinselwood as mentioned for Dos Santos, just because he's just a little bit more solid in the middle. And I feel like we just need a bit of stability in there. So let's just have him there, just patrolling. McKernan is the next one I want to take off, but I'm going to leave him for the moment. But Patricio Jara would be the guy who would come on for him. I'm also debating, do we go attack? and just try and push them a little bit more. Let's give it a go, and then if it doesn't work, we can always drop it back down to positive, because we have been pretty good. I just want to see us controlling the game a little bit more. Maybe if we're attacking them a bit more, it gives them less of a chance of getting a foothold in the game. We're just disrupting them a little bit more. The other thing I might do is I might put us on throwing ourselves into tackling, diving into tackles, just so we can disrupt them a bit more as well. I don't mind picking up a few yellow cards if we need to. Momentum wise, we've started off quite well in the second half, but it doesn't mean anything unless we can translate it to a goal. As it stands, we'd be up to 5th, which is great. Frankfurt as well, by the way, are fighting for the same thing that we are. So it's not necessarily a case of they don't have anything to fight for. They've got just as much to fight for as we do. McKernan's off. He's had a shocker. Jara can come on. We'll pop him onto being an inside forward. Just try and get a little bit more in there. Leifson. I'm actually going to put Leifson on attack. No, I'm not, because we'll have way too many players. We've already got 4 players on attack. I don't really like having more than that. I don't know. Ben Cook and a Twister. I mean, we could bring Caceres on, but I don't necessarily know if we gain anything by doing that. That's kind of the issue. Andre will come off. We'll bring on D'Ambrosio, because D'Ambrosio just has a little bit of magic in him sometimes. And he just kind of bullies his way up the pitch, which I quite like. Right, let's see whether we can, at minimum, see the game off, but ideally get another goal just to settle things down a little bit. Right, let's see. Jara does really well to get the ball there. He's got a massive point to prove, Jara. He's just very inconsistent. Ben Cook. I love Ben Cook, but I don't think he needed to shoot from there. That's a bit disappointing. It's a good opportunity that we've kind of just let go there. But it is what it is. Right, highlight with Frankfurt on the ball. Di Benedetto looking for Chaibi. Bayer heads it out, but it's into the path of Koch. Koch now into the box, into Di Benedetto. We get it out of the box, but we keep getting it to them, which is a bit disconcerting. Right, we've got one more change to make. I don't really know who I want to substitute. I'm thinking Kike Bayer for Ait Nuri. Ait Nuri hasn't been that good since he's been back, though, but we'll give him the opportunity. To be said, he did score a goal, actually, on his first return. Just the last game he didn't do very well in. I would like to say Shockquist off. To be fair, I'm a bit disappointed that Shockquist hasn't been able to rip them apart today, but I'm going to put it down to it being an away game. Difficult European away game. They are tough. They are hard. Credit to them. They've played very, very well, and they could still get something from this game. I mean, really, I'm going to hold on to that thought, and I'm going to wait until the game is over before I reveal what I was going to say. I know he did well there, not as well as he should have done, and I was about to say it's probably, as a game, good value for a draw. I'm going to berate the boys because we've just let them walk in and score, and they have scored. It has been allowed this time. Yes, it's at home for them, but we have just let them walk through us, and that's the bit that disappoints me, is that, oh, that's poor from D'Ambrosio. We're giving them possession, and then they're just bombing forward and scoring, which is disappointing. Right. Oh, my word. How did you not intercept that? We've got the ball anyway, though. Jara to Hinselwood. Hinselwood. He was out of the squad. He was going to get sold at one point. Oh, my word. Patricio Jara's gone and scored his first of the season in January. He's a right winger. I knew he was a right winger all of the time. I knew. I just wanted to test him and see if he could play somewhere else before playing him in his settled position. I knew he was a right winger on inside forward duty, and I've got no qualms about saying that, and you can fight me if you think that I'm making it up. Fists out of dawn. No, I had no idea. We've got very lucky there, to be honest with you. However, I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. Now, the job we've got now is to try and hold on to the game. I am just going to drop back down to positive. I don't really want to take too many more risks. But Jara has just done us a massive favour there, and that would cement us a place in the next round of the Champions League, not having to go through the playoffs. There it is. That is a good European victory. Yes, okay, we score, they score, we score, they score, we score a late winner. I mean, it's exactly what we want. Again, Frankfurt, you'd like to think that we probably could be better than them. But again, to be fair, last season, if we're being completely serious, last season's result was a bit of an odd one. They're currently hates in Bundesliga. I mean, to be fair, they're not doing too badly in Europe. They've won 8, so they've obviously done very, very well. We are so... That's not Europe, Stu. That's the Bundesliga. They have... I'd like to see what games that they've won. I think I'll need to go through and find the European table. Let's have a quick nosy at that. Competitions, Champions League, Frankfurt won half of their games. To be fair, we won 2 more than them, but they beat Paris Saint-Germain, they beat Leverkusen, they beat Lille. They had some stinker teams that they had to play against. To be fair, though, look at our record. You can argue that all but one of those teams are teams you'd expect us to beat. Liverpool being the one that you'd expect us to lose against. But we had lost 2 games against Juventus and the weird one against Sporting, who again we beat last season. Right, I'm waffling. I'm going to go away. I'm going to do the end of the transfer window, which will be the next day. And we're going to come back for Newcastle. And I'm determined that on this day, we're going to put a pay to the... Did we actually beat them the last time? I felt like we lost against them again. When did we... No, we beat them on penalties, didn't we? But that's not a victory. I don't count that. Right. First time we're going to look to beat them from open play. That will count. So I'll very quickly come back. Hinselwood has had an offer finally come in for him. It's been a while since we've had one from Chelsea. And it's negotiable. £26 million, instalments of 6.25 with 20 games triggering an £8.5 million fee as well, totaling 41 million. He's up for 45. I would have considered this before we realised we need a defensive midfielder. I am going to counter offer to that. I don't think they're going to go for it, but we might just have enough time to scramble for a replacement. I don't know whether we will, but I'm just going to give it a go. We're going to hang on to Miranda as well. He's come back off a loan just to see where... Oh my word, they've gone for it. Okay, real talk now. Do I sell him? Do I sell him? Because he's not just cover at defensive mid. He's right back cover as well. We need to replace him with 2 players. I'm going to have a think on that, and you're going to find out at the Newcastle game because I'm an evil rascal. 3, 2, 1. I bottled it. I kept him. The main reason being because, as I said, he can play in that multitude of defensive positions. It just felt like the wrong time. If it was earlier in the window and we weren't using him still, I probably would have gone for it, but no, I'm quite happy to keep him, to be honest with you. I'm delighted to keep him actually because he's been such a good utility player for us. I mean, look at the sea of green on his form, so quite happy to be hanging on to him. But all was not lost on transfer deadline day. We did make a signing, and that was the signing of this guy, Al Gamdi. I've tried to sign this guy in this save already. I tried to sign him, I think, for Charlton, but Liverpool got there before us. He was a wonder kid at that point. He no longer is a wonder kid, but he's a Saudi Arabia international with 22 caps. He's on loan for the rest of the season. He'll be an adequate backup right back. Can also play as a left back. Can also, intriguingly, play as an attacking midfielder. So we're well covered there. So I'm very happy with that. Didn't have any major sales go out. We did put Stephen Lynn out on loan. Of course, he was a wonder kid, or at least a player who looked like he could be a wonder kid. That's Charlton, who we signed here for more money than he was worth. So, you know, that's a thing. I am also in the process of signing these 3 youngsters. They're all work permit signings, and they're all signings who are going to come in January or later. So it is, in the summer or later. Possibly one of them is next January, but yeah, these are all ones for the future. Don't need to worry about them. However, Shockwist has signed his new contract and is happy as Larry, so excellent. I have agreed with Hinselwood though. I will let him go at the end of the season if he still wants to leave. I'm hoping by just playing him, he'll decide he doesn't want to. At 25, he's still got time to make the England team. And I've got to tell you, he's looking like a decent player who could make it into the England team. I really rate him. He's been really good for us. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, we are here for the game against Newcastle, and this is the 11 that we are going to be using. It is going to be Trafford in goal, Leifson, Marine, Owino and Bayer in defence, Hinselwood and Andre in the middle with McKernan out on the wing, Shockwist in the middle, and Atwester and Cook as the forwards. Let's see whether this mutant formation can get a win against a team who, again, in this save, I don't think we've been able to beat over a 90-minute period, or even just in a normal game. It's been penalties or nothing. So let's see whether we can get that done. It is at home as well. That should give us somewhat of an advantage. Who knows whether it will. Shockwist is tired. I should really be resting him, but I just want to play him because, you know, it's a relatively big game and I just want to see him have a good performance out there. There are some good players in their team, to prepare Newcastle. Kusiasare has really been a problem for us. As Kjaergaard, he had one superb game against us, which made me wish I could afford him, but I couldn't. So Salavi, life is what it is. We start with a highlight for Newcastle, which is moderately concerning. What I'm really hoping with this game that we don't get is the continental hangover, because, you know, we were playing in a European game in the very last game before this one, so it is a real thing. I believe it. It definitely feels like it's a real thing on Football Manager, and Newcastle are coming forward here like it's a real thing, and I don't much like it, although their league position is deceiving. They are a better team than that. Bruno being forced into the corner here, gets it into Joe Pedro, into the box. We're lucky there. We're very, very lucky there. We need to not be letting them do that. We need to not be letting them do that at all. They've bossed us on possession at the moment, and I'm not very happy about that. We need to get some more possession and start getting our own opportunities. Right, here we go. Throw in. Bayer to take. No one really volunteering to come forward. Andre does help in the end. Bayer now gets it to Andre. Andre coming into the box. He's not going to go for it, is he? He did. He shouldn't have, but he has won a corner, so that's something. More than likely going to be Shockwist to take. I think it is. It is indeed. Can Shockwist whip it in onto the head of someone who can get that in the back of the net? Not initially, anyway. Hinshelwood will recover the ball and try and get it back into play. I've got a feeling the highlight's going to end here, though. Bayer looking for options, and there the highlight does, in fact, end. We have had an opportunity, though, which is definitely a good thing. Bit of a disappointing start from us at the moment. Newcastle definitely on top of the game. I'm not overly happy with that. I would say at this point we're a team that rivals Newcastle in terms of our quality, but they're having all the opportunities and possession here, and I'm not very happy about that. And again, I'm putting it down to continental hangover. Our forward players just don't seem to be getting into it. This guy, Gorna Doath, apparently is just bossing our midfield. I'm really not happy with this start, to be fair. Not happy at all. All of my opposition instructions, again, gone. This guy, I can't wait for FM26. I really can't, because the amount of times this happens is a little bit frustrating. It's not even a little bit frustrating anymore. It's very frustrating. It really is. It's just, the game just does not like me. Right, left foot for you. Going hard on you as well. Why not? Did I put anything on Kusiasare? I don't think I did. I was scared to. I'll put him on his left foot. Oh, this is so frustrating, because again, I'd set all of this up and then it gets wiped off, and you can kind of tell with the way that we're playing that we're not pressing the defenders and the goalkeeper like I'd want us to, and we're not really doing anything with these guys either. So it is disappointing that the game decides to do that. This guy's just being allowed to do whatever he wants, by the way. So I'm going to press him and hard tackle him, because he's also low on fitness as well. Let's just do that and see if we can get a foothold in the game. And I'm going to demand more from the boys, because it's been a very, very poor beginning to the game. And it's probably going to be a game that we're going to lose. I've got that feeling about this one. It's been a very poor start. We need to see that momentum shift up to here now that we've made those changes. But the shots are still coming for Newcastle. We've got a little bit of momentum there. That's going to swing all the way back, though. There it is, yeah. Wow, really, really poor start from us. I'm actually going to berate the boys at the end of the first half. It's such a poor start from us. I'm going to thrash arms. I'm going to thrash arms, and we're going to go around them and just say, not happy. And we're just going to see if we can kind of shock value them into doing a bit better. The other ones we'll have a word with, and we'll just say you have the ability to change the game. I don't know what happened with that first half. That was so poor. That's genuinely one of the poorest halves I've seen from us. When we know we're as good as Newcastle. Away from home, I get it, but at home, that's really poor. Awino as well. I know he's tired as well, but that's a really poor performance from him. So Ute is going to come on, and we'll just see whether that can help things. We're going to go attacking as well. I'm going to take off run at defence, and we're just going to see if we can just pass it a little bit better. Quite happy still to be distributing quickly. And we'll push the line up a little bit more, because they weren't really counter-attacking us. They were kind of camping in our half, so we'll just see what we can do. I'm going to fire the boys up, and let's just see whether we can get something going. But again, their momentum start. Well, actually, it swung back now, and we've got a highlight. Shockwist whipping it in. tell you what, good attempt there from Shockwist. I'd have preferred him to probably cross it, but he ends up winning a corner that he will take. It's going to be an outswinger, not an in-swinger. Can he find someone? It's kind of scattered through everybody. Didn't really lead to anything. We've still got possession here, but that's usually where highlights end. We're getting better. More highlights towards ourselves here, which is good. Right, Pedro heads it out. Again, kind of into the danger area where the highlight could end here. Hinselwood, back to Andre. To Rafa Marine. Rafa gets it to Ute. Ute out wide to Bayer. Bayer now getting out wide, looking to get into some space to deliver a deadly cross. He does, into a twister, into Shockwist, and Shockwist is in the right place at the right time. His movement in that attacking midfield position is second to none. He just knows where to be to get those kind of ricochets. He's almost like a false poacher with inventing roles here. He's nothing like a false poacher, but in my head that makes sense because he's not a poacher, but then he just drifts inside, decides he wants a goal, gets in the right position to be there. Ben Cook's there as well, but Ben Cook is pushed out of position by Shockwist being there, so you know it is what it is. But we now lead, dominated in the first half. Second half we get an early goal. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. They're very good at possession, Newcastle, very good indeed, and I'm almost kind of at the point of, do you know what, have the possession if you're not going to do anything with it. Right, Bayer now, we win possession. Funnily enough, I can't get the ball to McKernan. McKernan had a really good run when we changed to this tactic. Last few games, I think he does need a bit of a break because he was non-stop playing because we didn't have a right winger. Patricio Jara, he's going to be imminent, I think. We need to get someone out on that wing who can do something. Again, we clear the ball nicely there. That's nice to see. Right, MyCareer. We need to be pressing these boys. We're pressing them a little bit better than we were. Wonderful pressing from a twister there to force a quick pass. But here come Newcastle. They're good enough to deal with a quick pass. And Asare just about makes it 1-1. I've not seen a goal be that close to not being a goal, but it is a goal and it is 1-1 and it was kind of coming. I'm going to fire the boys up again. We don't need to see their stinking goal. And I mean, Ben Cook's actually had a rare poor game. McKernan, as I said, is coming off for Jara, and Jara will change back to an inside forward on attack. Marine's not had a great game either. Neither has Hinselwood after I've given him the vote of confidence. Aka, I think, is going to come on for Ben Cook. I'm tempted to change Aka, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave him there and see what he can do with that. And I am looking at Hinselwood, defensive midfield. He's not having a great game. I think I might bring on Dos Santos and just see whether we can maybe just have a bit of a more solid defence here. And then we'll keep Rafa Marine for now. But I will have my eye on him, and we can always bring on Dan Hughes if we need to. Right, triple change. Let's see whether we can just go out there and just get another goal. We've been good value for a win in the second half, but to be fair to Newcastle, they are good value as well. Annoyingly, Shockwist just half a second late there. Again, he's tired. He's tired in the game as well as in general. We need to be wary of that. Kone's forward. He's broken free. Trafford makes the save. I'm getting a bit concerned at how easily we get cut through, but I think that is just a thing on Football Manager. At least it feels like nothing I do can stop that from happening. So, right. We've been a bit taken over, which is a little bit disappointing. We might need to have another look at the tactics because they've kind of gotten the foothold back in this half. We kind of scored and then down tools a little bit. Again, we're just letting them pass through us, which is really disappointing. Can we get the ball? Yes, Andre, but he loses the ball immediately. Might be offside. That's the only thing that's saving it. We'll wait until the offside and then we'll make some tactical changes. I really wanted to beat Newcastle today because I'm fed up of not being able to beat them. It's been disallowed. Okay, we're still in it. It's still only the one goal. Right. What can we do? What can we do to kind of do a bit of a better job? I mean, possession has still been really, really poor. I'm going to drop the tempo and I'm going to play us through the middle a little bit. Let's give that a go. I mean, annoyingly, they're playing with a holding midfielder, which means playing through the middle is going to be a little bit more difficult. Pedro's really annoying me, as is Asare. Asare did well against us last time as well, which was disappointing. I'm going to get stuck in. Let's just tackle the heck out of them and just see whether we can do anything with them a little bit there. Bruno's moved into the middle. Let's actually just have a quick look. They'll move Kjaergaard into the middle as well. And Kjaergaard in the middle is deadly. Right. Okay, Co-match, we've seen he's come on. We probably should have a look at him. I'm not marking a co-match. I'm not doing that. We're going hard on him and put him on his right foot. Let's do that. We're going hard on Asare right now that he's tiring a little bit. Kone's been very good against us today. Very good indeed. He's on his left foot, but that's not really done a lot. I don't really know what else we can do other than our tactics, but I don't know what else we can do on our tactics. Maybe we go a little bit narrower. Maybe we go a little bit narrower. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We'll put Jara in here as another deep line forward. Pop you on attack, and we'll focus on you two doing that. And I'm also going to make Dos Santos a supporting defensive midfielder. I think. No, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm taking him off. No, I'm not taking him off, sorry. I'm going to put him back into central defence where he kind of belongs. D'Ambrosio is going to come on for Marine as my final change. And I'm making this quite early. And we'll play you as the Regista, which you were training on, which you can play, and you did a good job on. And let's just try and go for it a little bit. Because we know we're a good value team for a win here. We know we're good enough to beat them. So let's just mix things up a little bit, because they were starting to come back into the game, although annoyingly they're coming back into it even more now. I've just changed everything. Fire the boys up. A draw's not the end of the world. I'm a bit disappointed about our possession, because it was lauded in the press conference before that our possession is one of our strongest things, when actually in this game it's been one of our weakest things. Right, Bayer intercepts here. Can we do a counter attack here? We've slowed down a bit now, which is a bit annoying. Ball through to Aka though. Aka, can he find a ball through? He can't, which is really annoying. And Asare manages to win the ball, but Kjaergaard now has got to run. He's got players over as well. Ute does a great tackle there, and Leifson now has the chance to do a counter attack. Jara, don't put it out of play. It's not your job to put it out of play. Atuesta loses the ball. Ball falls to Bayer though. Bayer into Aka. Aka making things happen here. Can he get it to someone? No, he's not going to get it to someone. He's going to do it himself. Asare is down. That's what you get for being a scoundrel. Why are you a scoundrel? Because you played well against us. Their medical staff come on. Did the right thing by not putting it out of play. Referee's decision. Play to the whistle. Aka, what a cameo performance. And this has been his thing this season. He's just good at coming into a game and just changing it. Right. Now we just need to see the game out. Kusi Asare has stayed on the pitch somehow, despite the fact that he went down like he was shot. Right. 7 minutes of added time. I'm wasting time. I don't even care. I don't even care. We're going to go shorter passing as well. We're going to slow the pace down. I'm not going to regroup. I want to just try and keep the ball as much as possible, but we're going to go to a mid-block. Let's just try and keep the ball. Please, let's just try and keep the ball. I need this win in normal time over Newcastle. I need it. For my own sanity, I need this. Thank you. Thank the football manager gods. We left it late. Newcastle, again, they're a good team. They've got good players. They've just had a bit of a bad run. So this was going to be a difficult game. I didn't think it was... No, did I? I didn't think it was going to be that difficult. That first half was really bad. It was really bad. We've not been dominated on possession like that for a little while. We got better in the second half, but we had to make changes. But this is the thing. We've got the personnel. Jara can play there, but he can cut in as well. There were a couple of times where we made a couple of interceptions. And we've got tired players as well. Sharquist is tired. Owino, who's a good defender, is tired. I think also Marine's getting a bit tired as well. McKernan, we know, is knackered. Cook is knackered as well. So, to be fair, bearing all of that in mind, I think we did okay. I don't quite know why the tactic is flickering. Well, it was just then. I believe you saw that. I don't know whether you did, but I don't know why it's doing that, but it is what it is. Right, so... I've annoyed them a little bit. Do you know what? I don't care at this point because I'm going to bed. Because I'm that tired after that. It extends our lead in the table to 5 points. Well, it doesn't extend it. It keeps it there, actually. But we still have that 5 point gap. We still have a game in hands. And Newcastle dropped down to 8th. Or they were already 8th. I thought they were 7th, actually. Obviously not. But Manchester City do keep within good distance. Our goal difference, by the way, is insane compared to the rest of the teams, which is great. Leifson, I mean, we've just changed tactics back to training, sorry, back to the to positions that suit a 4 at the back formation, because we'd obviously put everyone into the old system in terms of training. So we've just changed everyone back over. Shotquist is going to be shattered. Atwester is also shattered. Not ideal when he's kind of our star player. I'll rest those and they'll be fine, hopefully, for the game against Manchester City, which is our next game, which is a bit of a concern because, you know, we'd quite like to get through to the FA Cup. By the way, the Champions League, goodness me, the Carabao Cup final, it's between ourselves and Tottenham or Bradford City. Oh, gee, I wonder who I want that to be. I'm a Bradford City fan until we get to that day. And when we're at that day, I'm back to not being a Bradford City fan. But the hope is we can finally win that particular trophy. That would be amazing if we could. I'm happy with Spurs or Bradford, to be fair. When we last played Spurs, we did lose against them away from home. So we've got a bit of a receipt to give Tottenham on that one. So we'll see what we can do. We'll come back for that one. And then we'll come back for this. We'll come back for that one, maybe in its own episode, which we've done before. And then we'll come back for, after that, Champions League and Crystal Palace. So we'll probably tie those two together. I might even do Leeds and Champions League. I don't know. We haven't had the Champions League drawn yet. I'm not going to hang around on this video to wait for it because I don't know when that draw is. I think we need to wait until... Is it even going to be on here? It's not even on here. So yeah, we've got to wait a while, probably until the playoffs have been played, and then we'll find out. So that'll be a mystery for the next video. We'll hopefully know by the Carabao Cup final. Yeah, drama, absolute drama. Two very close games there, actually. Frankfurt 3-2, Newcastle 2-1, but we got through them, and that's the main thing. So, you know, I'll take a result. I'm gonna try and not fiddle with the tactic anymore. That's my promise to you. I'm going to try and not fiddle with the tactic anymore. We're going to stick with what we've got. And hopefully it leads us to a Carabao Cup final win at Wembley. Or we just decide that we can't win that trophy ever because the universe hates us. One or the other. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like on there for me and hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with all the future content coming from the channel. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.